I've never felt so proud to be American than in moments like this.
If it's true that Americans tell time by their presidents,
hats and shirts, guys. Donald Trump's moment, guys. Souvenirs.
Those who gathered in Washington to watch history unfold,
I'm picturing myself thinking, I can't believe I'm here,
will not soon dismiss from memory the pride that was expressed.
Where else do you see this?
And the rage that unfolded.
And people are angry.
Not my president!
The day Donald Trump was inaugurated the 45th President of the United States.
And welcome back to our complete coverage of today's 58th presidential inauguration.
being here is like a dream come true.
As dawn's dust shed a new light on the U.S. Capitol the morning of January 20th.
Souvenirs right here, guys.
A lot of changes are coming, a lot of good changes, I do believe.
A wave of Trump supporters
Good morning.
streamed toward the National Mall.
A lot of young kids here, a lot of families.
Going to the left when you get in there.
Let's make America great again, guys.
Vendor Cedric Washington hails from California.
I went to Obama's first one, and here I am for Donald Trump's first, and hopefully many more to come.
We've been here since about 5:30 in the morning.
Scott Colony flew in from Florida, fully realizing the nation is deeply divided.
We heard there were going to be a lot of protesters here, so we said we're coming up.
10 o'clock in our nation's capital. Another live look there down the National Mall.
This rising tide of support that swept into the White House, a businessman with a flair for sharp-tongued tweets,
I, Donald John Trump,
then watched in wonder as Mr. Trump was sworn in.
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
Because everybody's here for the same reason.
This time-honored ritual of political renewal is familiar to some in this crowd.
Been coming to him since Ronald Reagan.
Jim Parsons, a retired police officer and history teacher from Ohio, has learned a lot in his 6 inaugurations.
It's not that I expect this man to make my life better. That's up to me.
This is awesome!
Together.
And then this self-proclaimed outsider with a proud, politically incorrect persona thrilled Virginia's Wendy Schacht with the slogan that got him here.
And yes, together, we will make America
Great again!
Thank God for Trump. I gotta tell you, I think things are gonna be so much better.
The strength of our constitutional republic is, in part, defined by the peaceful transition of power. But what unfolded in the dizzying, anger-fueled hours to follow
Who do you protect? Who do you serve?
would turn that truth upside down.
Not my president!
Soon after the inaugural ceremony concluded,
No justice! No peace!
anti-Trump marchers moving down Constitution Avenue
This is what democracy sounds like!
traded insults
Hansies!
with Trump supporters.
Build the wall! Build the wall!
But several blocks away, near McPherson Square,
I'm
not touching the camera. Don't put it on my hand then.
some were less interested in talking than they were in creating chaos.
This is, again, the intersection of 13th and K Street. The protesters out here have gotten together a bunch of benches, trash cans, as you can see, and have lit them on fire.
Mixed among a large crowd of peaceful protesters,
You can pick the right side of history. It's not too late!
a smaller group, some donned in black, their faces covered, willing to unleash damage.
We saw protesters throwing rocks and bricks at the police, and then they set off like a succession of about 10 concussion grenades. I believe that's part of a concussion grenade.
Filmmaker Jack Guglielmetti watched as a protest turned violent.
Watch out! Rubber bullets!
There were a lot of very, very loud explosions.
Vehicles were vandalized, including this limo. Windows to businesses smashed out. hundreds arrested. Police in riot gear moved in with a watchful eye above. And remember that limo? Well, someone torched it. While Bedlam unfolded, the momentum of this day marched on. President Donald Trump's parade rolled down Pennsylvania Avenue on time without a hitch. On this consequential day of transformation, we are reminded of a remarkable coincidence. George Washington recited his oath nearly 230 years ago during our country's first inauguration, the only inauguration held in New York City, the place that cemented Donald Trump's legacy as a leader who now resides in Washington.
You guys ready?
I want to open it.
You want to open it? You might have to stand up.
There are so very few
let's be careful with that knife.
good surprises in life.
I hope I'm not cutting the sock.
To fully appreciate why 12-year-old Jack Creedon is excited about opening a small box of socks,
How about that?
we need to travel. "330 miles from his home in Northern Virginia to Mount Airy, North Carolina. This picture postcard town was the inspiration for fictional Mayberry on The Andy Griffith Show. It's also home to an American company renowned for making a product that we all rely on.
In this section, we have our steaming station.
It's quite possible that the socks on your feet were made by Renfro.
We work with a lot of different brands, from New Balance, Fruit of the Loom, Carhartt, Smart Wool.
This company also believes in giving back.
It's probably one of the most awesome things I've ever been a part of.
Product developer Allison Strickland plays a key role in a work project that shatters the stereotype of the sterile assembly line.
She'll put it over the foot form, which helps give it the foot shape.
What you're looking at is the newest Renfro sock designed by and for young people fighting cancer.
It amazed me to think of how much he's been through, how much drive he had and initiative to, say, I'm going to fight this.
Only 34 miles south of Renfro's sock factory stands Wake Forest University, where business major Jake Teitelbaum just concluded his senior year.
Now I'm in my second senior year. Yeah.
Jake was supposed to graduate a year prior, but college had to be put on hold to fight a rare form of Hodgkin's lymphoma.
You walk into being admitted, and it's like, sign your name here, 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 here are your socks. And it was like, I don't want these socks. These are the last thing I want. This is the last place I want to be.
Jake says those hospital-issue socks represented the suffering and the hopelessness consuming him. So as an act of personal rebellion, he started wearing his own socks to treatments.
It seems absolutely ridiculous saying it out loud, but socks kind of help me retain a little bit of me.
In his darkest hour, Jake hatched a plan that he's now realizing.
All things considered, I'm doing really well.
Only a handful of months after a life-saving stem cell transplant, this 23-year-old entrepreneur started Resilience. He collaborates with young cancer patients. Together, they design vibrant, high-quality socks based on each patient's personal story. A portion of proceeds help families pay mounting medical bills. Last fall, Jake met Jack while the 12-year-old was being treated at Duke University Hospital.
Jack is a warrior.
This little boy has been fighting for his life, his entire life.
There were 2 of 200 kids under the age of 2 in this one orphanage.
Dan and Leslie Creedon adopted then toddlers Jack and Catherine from an orphanage in Siberia, Russia. You would never guess that these siblings are not biologically related, as close as they are to each other.
Now I have a fuzzy head of hair. And he has a beard, sideburns. You don't have to mention all that.
The hope for these children was that their beginning would be the toughest challenge they'd face. But 2 years ago, bruises started forming all over Jack's body.
3 hours later, we're at Fairfax Hospital, and he has leukemia. I'm like, what?
Despite the best care, there were setbacks and complications. They couldn't find a bone marrow match. Their only options, do nothing and hope that Jack didn't relapse, or try a risky stem cell transplant.
And let me tell you, that was the toughest decision I ever made.
It's undoubtedly a coincidence, but the same procedure that saved Jake saved Jack.
And what I'll tell every other parent is, you know, you find a way because it's your kid. And don't worry about if you can do it or not, you just do.
We were there when the socks were finished in North Carolina, and weeks later,
Might be a little small.
when Jack's zoo socks arrived at his home in Virginia.
I seriously can't get it on past my heel.
It took a bit of coaxing, but eventually, the animal-themed socks, his mom works at the National Zoo, made their way onto his feet.
There are animals all over them. There's penguins, extinct dinosaurs, poisonous snakes.
As if the colorfulness wasn't enough to make you smile, you see that ghost and you can't help but smile and think about Jack and his story and, you know, how something so small can mean so much to somebody, really.
Jack did have one unique request. Include on the sock his beloved Ghosty, the trusted stuffed animal that was always by his side, filling him with courage during those arduous cancer treatments. And finding Ghosty was important.
I found me in 2 different spots. I think of myself as a kid with a bump in the road. A huge bump. A foot-tall bump. More than that. How many feet? Maybe a mountainous bump.
A boy and his family, almost on the other side of that mountain.
When I opened the box and I put the socks on, I kind of felt like I'm ready to walk away from cancer.
If life's uncertainties have taught the Cretans anything, it's how to laugh with each other.
Gee, Dad, look at how fat that penguin is.
Yeah, that's a big fat penguin on your sock, isn't it? Look at that one. Yeah.
Everything's so fat on your foot.
Well, on my foot? Yeah, I think it's the sock stretching out.
Yes, I meant to say the sock.
Mm-hmm.
And how to share in the richness and the challenges of life together. For ABC 7 Stories.
Jay Korff live now with the reunion you will see only on 7. This is fantastic, Jay.
Yeah, wow, I cannot stop watching this video. So this family obviously heartbroken for most of the day when Biscuit went missing. Now, tears of joy.
Oh my God.
To understand why 7-year-old Reagan Turner and her mother Daria are crying tears of elation at 9 p.m., we need to take you back several painful hours when their beloved dog Biscuit ran off.
At first, I couldn't control myself. I'm just like frantic.
Daria let the family labradoodle out Wednesday afternoon in their fenced-in yard in southeast Washington. When she checked on him several minutes later, he was gone.
I mean, the world can be heartless sometimes.
Their home surveillance video shows a man walking by their back gate trying to let Biscuit out. Then the man walks around the front, opens the gate, and out goes Biscuit.
It doesn't matter how cute they are. You cannot take a dog from their family.
This time of year is especially meaningful for Reagan because Biscuit was her surprise Christmas gift 2 years ago.
The saying, Merry Christmas, probably not going to be true this year.
As we were leaving the interview, 2 strangers walked up with guess who?
Biscuit!
They say they found Biscuit wandering several blocks away, read the address on his tag, and escorted him home.
I'm just glad that somebody found him and returned him safely.
I'm just so happy. I was like, I heard him. When I heard that bark, I knew it was Biscuit immediately.
Now what's Christmas going to be like?
Christmas is going to be merrier than ever.